Wow. I mean, I have so many notes for this game, and yeah, I don't even know where to get started. Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs are going to the NBA Finals. They're going to play the Knicks in what is a rematch of 1999, and that game was nothing short of cinema. The big idea that I'm getting from this game is wow, the parody era it continues. This is going to be year 8 in a row with a new NBA champion, and I'm all here for it. I have no complaints at all. I had no bias coming into this game. I really loved both these teams all season. I enjoyed watching them, and all I was hoping for was a great game, and it did not disappoint today. Shea versus Wemby, it it was just a modern day classic, and I hope to see this series again next year. Uh, First, let's do something different. Let's talk about the losing side first, because Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was so impressive today. He had 35 points on 12 for 21 shooting. He shot 9 for 11 at the line. The two misses from the line were in one weird possession because Shea doesn't usually miss from the line. Man, he was lights out. You got to start like from the beginning of the game. You could tell his touch around the basket was way better than what it was in game 6 because he just could not get Wemby's gravity. I think was really affecting Shea around the rim in game 6, and today he just came out and a lot of the looks weren't open. He was just hitting his jumper no matter what today. He was super impressive, and it kept on feeling like, oh, Shea's going to chip out this lead. This is his legacy game. This is his, you know, game that's going to put him in these all time discussions. And I was disappointed to see them lose, but they lost not because of Shea. Shea was incredible today. So even though it was a loss, it was a real legacy performance without your, second option scoring. Uh, yeah, as Jalen Williams didn't play today at all. He played 10 minutes in game 6, didn't really look like he was ready to come back, and he just didn't play at all today. And today, sub in the lineup was Jared McCain came off the bench for Cason Wallace. And then at the start of the second half, Isaiah Hartenstein came out of the game as who did they start in that? They started Jalen Williams. That's right. Um, it wasn't really a coaching error. I mean, you know, Mark Dagnall's not at fault. Not many people are at fault for this because OKC did play a good game themselves. It was just an incredible game from San Antonio. Uh, Obviously, Chet Holmgren, you would have liked some aggressiveness from him in a winner go home game 7. You would like for him to take more than 2 shots as an all-star, but he shot 1 for 2, 4 points, um, only 4 rebounds. Super disappointing for Chet in 33 minutes. He was just lost out there. He was very unaggressive, and I'd like my all-star to have a stronger mentality than to take 2 shots in a winner go home game 7. In the latter half of the game, Cason Wallace was really hitting his shots. He was hitting his threes. He was driving to the basket. He was doing everything out there. It really seemed like there were possessions where the whole shot clock would wind down, and their last resort was to give it to Cason Wallace, who would just put up a 3, and it would hit every time. And, there was a point where they were just chipping at the lead, and every time OKC was coming back, and Cason Wallace was final that final thing in the way of San Antonio winning the Western Conference. But they pulled through. Victor Wembanyama wasn't his most impressive game in the box score, even though, once again, it still was a great game if you look at the box score. He had 22-7 with a block. But just why you could see the leadership. And once that buzzer sounded and the tears started falling, you could audibly hear him cry on the microphone. It was cinema. It was such a good moment. And I've seen a lot of people complain about, the lack of emotion from NBA champions, in the past few years. And Wemby's emotion toward the sport, incredible. It's so good to see. It really, brings my heart toward the game. De'Aaron Fox finally got his shot to go today. He shot 6 for 12 with 15 points. Uh, Probably should have got one of them taken off. I didn't really want to bring up reffing too much in this video because it's kind of a tired topic. Even though I don't think they were the greatest today, the ref, I don't think they decided the game. And De'Aaron Fox still got his shot to go. There was the one where it was an out of bounds call and they didn't call it. He just blatantly stepped out of bounds. But enough on the refs. I don't want to drag the refs. I don't think many OKC fans are really going to be pointing their fingers at the refs too much, even though they did feel a little bit in favor of San Antonio today. Once again, the whole ref topic is so burnt out, and this was just a great game. I really liked Mitch Johnson today. His trust in his players. There was a point where Stephon Castle, he had 4 fouls in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, and Mitch Johnson just threw him the game. Still, he was not scared to keep Castle in the game, and you just have to have such trust in your players to do that. There was another, and if I could highlight Mark Daigneault too, there was one where it was they challenged this foul call on Wemby where Caruso blocked Wemby's shot, and Mark Daigneault just straight up asked him. He was like, "Did you foul?" And Caruso says no. So he challenges it, and they win that challenge. I think they won that challenge. It's hard to remember, but I know there was a tech on Mark Daigneault right after, so it doesn't matter. But just that trust in your players. These are two great coaches. These were two superstars in Wemby and Shea. Two great overall rosters who've had great seasons, great stories all season. Um, it was a great game. They finished it off with Devin Vassell, the final slam dunk at the end, and that was just like the nail in the coffin. Devin Vassell, who I thought was playing very antsy today. He had that one where Shea faked the three and went into his arm, and it's like, well, Shea was obviously not going to take that three, even though I felt like he was antsy. He was shooting these threes too early. He was missing shots he usually hits, but it didn't matter in the end. Uh, Julian Champagnie, obviously, he had a great night shooting. He shot 6 for 10 from three. He had 20 points on 6 for 11 shooting. So I didn't even realize he only took one shot that wasn't from three today. Dylan Harper, who only had 12 points, which feels like low for the game he had, and especially toward the end, he was not scared to take those shots. He was hitting his shots. And for a rookie, he had the one putback, and then he had the three. Dylan Harper was not scared of the moment. And it seemed like nobody was scared of the moment. Keldon Johnson really got his shot to go at the end there, too. His three-point shot was hitting. None of these guys feel scared of the moment. And that's what makes them so scary. This might have been one of the best Game 7s I've seen in my lifetime. I think this was better than this might be the best Game 7 we've seen since the 2016 NBA Finals. Just an incredible game, an incredible story, two incredible teams. I'm excited to see what OKC's offseason looks like. You have Chet and Jalen Williams are going to get paid. Hopefully they're healthy next year. Maybe this series goes differently if they're healthy. But man, it was just a great story. Wemby is just such a great player. He may be the face of the league. I don't know at this point. We've kind of shuffled through face of the league talk from, Giannis. Ever since Giannis won his ring in 2021, I think we've been shuffling around face of the league talks, and I don't know anymore. But I will say, I think he stamped himself as the best player in the world. I still think Shea and I don't know if I'd say and Jokic at this point, but I think Shea is definitely still in the discussion. But man, the league is in great hands. Isn't this parody era great? And what's so scary about San Antonio as well is how quick they can go on a run. Um, they won a 16-2 run in 3 minutes, and it was just so quick, and it didn't even feel like it. It was at a point where the game was tied, like almost tied right before, and the run was so quick, and it's like, man, on a snap like that, these guys can go on a run. You never know who's going to step up. Even though Fox, he shot 5 for 24 in the past in Game 5 and Game 6, and he comes out today to play. Everyone on this team could play. Even if we look to the bench, I've not been the biggest Luke Cornett fan, this postseason especially. But he came in today, and there was just a little bit and it shows once again the trust these guys have in each other. Where in the fourth quarter, Wemby checked out for, I would say, like it was like 2 possessions, like maybe 40 seconds, and Luke Cornett comes down and he has a chase down block, and then he checks out like right after almost, and Wemby gives him the high five, and it was just so great to see, you know, the trust these guys have in each other. Another thing I want to highlight is defensively how great they were. And, they've been great defensively all series, but today it really stuck out. There was a point where, when Shea was going on his little run and he was hitting a shot, and there was one possession, it was like he was being guarded. And first, he was being guarded by, I think, Carter Bryant. You could correct me, but uh Carter Bryant like lost his footing for 1 second, and Shea had an open shot for 1 second, and he was not hesitant to pull it. And it just shows like how much they're affecting Shea. That there was another possession too where I saw Shea actually end up getting an open look, and there was just no hesitation on the shot. If Shea had a little separation, he wouldn't hesitate all series, man. These guys defensively are something else, and I am so excited for this finals. Official prediction: I'm gonna take San Antonio. Feeling coming right out of this game, I'm kind of on a San Antonio high right now. Like I'm feeling really good on San Antonio, but I mean the Knicks are also a great team. It's gonna be a great series. Two likable teams. I am just so impressed with the product right now.